Oh, there it is.
Boom.
Guess who's back? Back again. And Pauly.
Man, it's a good thing that you're in the oil industry in Alberta and you're not actually singing
Could
because
never make a living rapping, that's for sure.
no. And
Rapping
you
about
and,
basketball, maybe.
and
Not
apparently you're doing quite well what you're doing now. Everybody, welcome to the Canadian Bro Show. My name is Paul Bale. I'm the founder and host of the Canadian Bro Show. This is the second iteration of the Canadian Bro Show. First one being All Things Canadian with Pauly and Johnny. We just filmed our 37th episode. So thank you for the continued viewership. It's been excellent. Really appreciate it. It's almost a year celebration, believe it or not. It's incredible how fast it goes. And then, of course, with my main man over here, the handsome looking dude to my left and your right, Mr. Trent Rowley, the co-host at the most. And you wonder why it's the most, he'd be happy to share it with you, anybody that listens. We're really excited to be here with the Canadian Bro Show in the second iteration, all basketball from the Hoopjunkies, Pauly and Rowley, and it's episode 24. And the title of this episode is I love it. Trent came up with it. I thought it was great. And we're just going to leave it in parentheses, he's coming. And we're going to go immediately into the first round of the NBA playoffs of 2024 and 25, which is already exciting. There's already all kinds of things going on. It's fantastic. Trent, how you doing, bro?
Good, my man. How you doing?
I'm really good, thanks. Really good. Yeah, I just filmed a really good episode 37 with Johnny, and we brought in this really nice Canadian writer that's actually, he's got 6 books that he's written, and we did our 7th in the interview series. It was fantastic. It really worked out. A couple little technical glitches, internet. This time it was my internet for some reason. Maybe it's always been my internet. I have no idea, but I'm working it out. But it's beautiful. It's been incredible. I'm in Kelowna, and the weather's been amazing. I finished my deck, and I'm ready for. Apparently, spring's already started. I guess I'm a late bloomer, but thanks for asking.
Right on.
Yeah. So where do you want to start, bro? Unless you want to say anything else. Trent's in St. Paul, Alberta, and I'm in Kelowna, British Columbia.
So people know who we're talking about when we say he's coming. Ace Bailey declared for the draft from Rutgers. So he's actually coming to the NBA. That's who we're going to talk about, right? That's who we met.
Are we?
No. Yes, people probably know. We were talked about it last episode that there was mention of a certain individual not maybe going into the draft because he'd have to play for some horrible teams, and we'll talk about those teams. Paul's boy Cooper Flag, he announced for the draft. So here he comes.
Yeah.
The next great white hope. That's basically how it gets looked at.
Well, I mean, would you say that exact same thing if he had a different color of skin than white?
Oh, ridiculous. Oh, of course not. Ridiculous. So, I mean, but
drives me insane.
That's what he's going to get. That's what he's going to get.
It drives me insane, Trent. It's like the and I don't get it. I really don't.
I think we're both happy from what we've seen of him as a player, competitor. I think as basketball fans, we're probably both happy that he's coming to the NBA. Let's just hope that something happens, that the NBA decides to pull a 1984 Patrick Ewing New York Knicks fix in the draft, and somebody can move up the draft 6 or 7 spots and get ahead of some of these teams that we don't want to see him go to.
It's going to be interesting, too, if you look at the who knows what's going to happen, if it's fixed, if it's rigged, if it's fake, if it's whatever you want to believe.
It was an 84 for Patrick Ewing, guaranteed.
Well, okay, that's why you brought it up, but I'm kind of like more interested in the moment. I look at you look at the teams that tanked intentionally, and I have kind of I'm not really too happy about it at all. It doesn't make sense. It's terrible, actually, to run a league this way.
You're pretty powerful, sure.
I am. I'm upset. I feel for the families that have 4 kids, that their kids love basketball and they go to a game. And I hope it's in Memphis or one of the southern franchises where you can get like a ticket for $18 and not like if it was, some franchise that was taking advantage of people and charging $250 a ticket.
So just a second with that $18 comment. there was a thing online the other day, a story, and then I heard it on Sirius on a sports program that there's tickets available for the last Memphis game for $17.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like,
Just
come
wonder
on.
how I brought that up, eh? It's funny. Funny how it works out. No, there's something weird going on in Memphis, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
And so do you want to talk about Cooper? You want to talk about, or it's not really talking about it. The
We
guy's
should,
coming.
we should actually just talk about the teams that have the opportunity to draft them.
Sure.
And then,
So who
like,
do you want to talk about first? There's 3 teams that have an equal percentage.
let's talk about
Supposed
your
to.
3 favorite teams.
I don't have of the all those teams. I don't have. None of them are favorite.
Your least favorite of those 3. Let's start with that.
I have the greatest disdain. Okay, so voted the worst franchise in the NBA this year in 2024 and 25. And I heard this is by I heard it's by the players.
Right.
So I could be wrong. That's what I heard. Do you know which franchise I'm going to say?
Oh, I want to
Charlotte
say,
Hornets.
yeah,
Charlotte Hornets.
Charlotte.
It was absolutely atrocious
They're-
trying to find any way to love that franchise or watch it. It was the most impossible thing in the world, and they weren't the only ones, but it was the worst. And it's embarrassing. And you know what? And the franchise is worth $3 billion. $3 billion. And they do this to the fans. I don't get it. I'm not saying it's the owner's fault. I'm not saying it's the NBA. I'm not saying it's whoever. The fact is, there's a reason why it was voted number 1 by players, and everyone knows, including us. We talked about it over 23 episodes during the season, multiple times. And so, okay, help me out. Who would you say is next? Part of that 14%.
Well, the first thing I would bring up, you brought up Charlotte. My comment on them is, man, in the early 90s, they were such a good team. They were a fun team to watch.
Yeah.
They had Morning and Grandmama Larry Johnson, Kendall Gill, Glenn Rice. They had such a good team. But again, everybody back then had to beat the Bulls to get to the finals. So there's teams that didn't make the
And
finals.
Dale Curry too, man.
Dale Curry, like they were Muggsy Bogues. Like they had a really good team. BJ Armstrong was there then at the end of that as well. So
I like that.
it's just, again, there's lots of great players that don't have championships because of that one team. And Charlotte's probably one of them. They would have been right there. They had a really, really good team back in the day. I used to root for Charlotte all the time. I used to love watching Charlotte games.
Yeah, me too.
Next for me would be the perfect place for the next great way to hope to go, and that would be Utah. I mean, I still attest that Utah should have drafted Bronny James and then held the Lakers hostage for draft picks and whoever and traded them, but the league said don't do that. So it'd be the best fit for him. To be honest.
And Trent, by the end of the season, they blackball you.
Oh, it's
They
so
would.
he's the perfect fit for there. Let's be honest, right? I mean,
They got to get rid of LaMelo and try to get the whole park for him.
Oh yeah, well
And there'll be teams out there that'll throw them everything to get that kid, even with his dodgy ankles.
Yeah, I know.
He's electrified.
Yeah,
and the kid doesn't drink. He doesn't drink, and he's not a pothead. So I mean, that's good too, right?
Yeah. Well, Cooper Flag is a better fit for Utah than Lonzo Ball.
Well, that's what Utah is hoping for. Trust me. Ainge has more arsenal weapons available to make that happen than any other team in the NBA.
Yeah, lots of picks.
And honestly, Cooper going there, I don't think it matters with Cooper. I mean, obviously with his skin color, and he's from a working class family, even though his parents were, he's fairly wealthy.
Yeah.
He'd fit into Utah like you wouldn't believe. Everyone knows that. But I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Danny's going to be that lucky. If anybody can, it's Danny Ainge.
Well,
But let's talk about the teams. Let's talk about the least team that anybody would think would get Cooper of those. How many? 10? 10?
There's still New Orleans that's right there. There's still the Wizards that are there.
For the love of God, please not the New Orleans. Please.
Yeah.
That would be just. That's not fair. It's not fair.
Dodgy.
It's not fair, bro.
They got a curse or something down there.
And the players have said it.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that later with the awards because there's some awards have been released, but some haven't. So at least we got a little juice there, right?
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so he's going to be in the draft. Ace Bailey's going to be in the draft.
Who's going to get him? Let's talk about the last two teams that nobody talked about.
I'm telling you right now, it's going to be the Wizards or Utah.
Is that your feeling?
That's who's getting him.
I think it's going to be anyone but those two teams, and that's what I want to know.
I think the league will want him in Utah. I'm not.
Okay, let's talk about the other 6 teams.
Sure.
So, which one is the least likely, based on percentage, to win his pick? The highest odds against him, the lowest amount.
The Raptors.
No, I think the Raptors have a 7%. Actually, the Raptors have a really good opportunity. I hope, by the way, it goes to the Raptors. I'll say it again. I hope he goes to the Raptors.
And Mike Malone, and they dump the coach and hire Mike Malone.
Well, like I said, they might hire Mike Malone and keep the coach as the associate head coach.
I don't know who was in that.
Darko just got signed, though, but whatever.
I don't know. What team? You tell me.
Well, I mean, you said Washington, no. Utah, no. New Orleans, no. Charlotte, yeah, possibly. I don't have it in front of me, so I know it's just one team. Maybe 2.
Cooper Flag might be fun. Cooper Flag and Lonzo Ball together could be pretty fun to watch. I would imagine. If Lonzo Ball can play.
It could be interesting to see what happens. It doesn't really matter. He's going to be the first pick. And Ace, do you think he's going to be number 2?
I don't know.
And at the end of the day, Cooper is going to be great for the NBA. I'm glad he's coming in. I'm glad he didn't do another year at Duke. Honestly, if I was in his shoes, I wouldn't have done it.
You know who else I think should be high pick? Watching him is the kid from South Sudan that played for Duke.
Yeah, well, he's got some sort of visa situation problem.
Well, it never used to be a visa problem until a certain government got in charge. So
everybody wants a piece of the action, eh?
Exactly. So, yeah. What can you do for me?
He'll be a top 5, top 6 pick.
So long in it.
Oh my God! And the way he moves for a big kid, he's got really nice grace, eh?
Yep. Yeah,
he's kind of fluid.
He has a good potential to be a good player.
Yeah. Hey, so we're 13 minutes in. What do you think? Anything that's just caught your attention or just blew your mind in the NBA, starting in the first round here?
Did you watch the Knicks Detroit game today yet?
I was watching it before because
watched it all the way to the end or no?
No. I can talk about it because I know what happened.
Well, I think it probably should have been a foul called at the end, but.
Yeah, well, that's not surprising. Eh? It seems to be a common. Have you noticed how many games are actually held up by referees trying to figure out how to do their fucking job? Pardon my French.
Yeah. No,
seriously, it bothers me a lot, man. Like I'm not like there's it's you can see it. You can see it. I'm sitting 15 feet from my 50-inch screen. I can see it right away. What the call is. Why do you have to go through with no commercials? 4, 5, 6 minutes. You've got New Jersey Caucus. You've got all these refs. What's going on? This is not about.
They got to do the replay so we can see your favorite ref, Steve Javy, tell us that they're making the right call.
Dude, Steve is not in that position anymore.
Yes, he is. He was on today.
What? Really?
Yeah, he was on the ABC Laker Wolves game.
So anytime you bring up certain teams that play, Trent goes, "Oh, look who the ref is." Isn't that coincidental? I'm not even say the name.
I'll tell you right now.
Because these are just opinions from a couple of hoop junkies.
Guess what?
We're just, it's our opinions.
Some of it's actually reality. So.
Well, in your reality, and maybe somebody else's, maybe not in many others. We don't know.
They're just dumb. So, we know during the Raptors run, I would text. I had a group of buddies in Victoria that I all played basketball with. There's probably about 10 of them. I had a group chat going. We had a group chat going during those finals. And then I also put it on Facebook. I go, Scott Foster's reffing the Raptors tonight against the Sixers. He ref 3 of those games. And 2 of those games, the Raptors won. And my comments after is like, hey, we, you know, give that to Scott Foster. Basically, we beat Scott Foster. And it was blatant, those games that he refed in, that
Yeah.
what would happen. And it was just, and we can talk about that guy another time. That guy should not be refing in the NBA after the whole Tim Donaghy thing. So we can talk about that.
There's a few others. He's not the only one.
Right? Oh no, that's what I mean. We need to have that talk sometime. That's not conspiracy. These are facts. I'm sorry. There's no such thing as coincidence, people. So I don't want to hear what's coincidence that they were best friends and texted time of day, but he had nothing to do with Campbell.
We're gonna do a show on it, and it's important when the season finishes that we continue our content. Trent and I want to film all year round. Basketball doesn't stop, man. The rock doesn't stop. Plus, with what Trent's starting is really going to capture the imagination of the communities where he lives, and it's going to help grow in a grassroots level. One of the most important areas, the sport of basketball, where it's exploding. It's the fastest growing sport in the world for obvious reasons. And we're bullish on the basketball market. There's a lot of room for improvement, and it is an extraordinary game. And volunteering and being a part of a nonprofit and growing the sport, I think, is the best way to go and move forward in the 21st century. And it'd be interesting to see how it goes and where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be a part of it somehow.
All right. So we're going to talk about the playoffs then, or what?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So let's start that we're both super happy that our OKC just swept the Grizzlies. As much as I'm rooting for Zach Edey in those games, as a Canadian kid, I am rooting for them to just beat them down. And the Grizzlies in Game 3 looked like they kind of had a chance, and then once Morant went down, what a surprise, hurt again in a game. At least it wasn't a contusion like Jimmy Butler has.
Honestly, I think with that dude, it's more mental.
But we're both happy to see Thunder. We don't even need to talk about that series because that went.
No, but I'd like to, because I want to talk about why they're number one and why they demolished a team that was very lucky to even be there in the
Ed Holmgren showed up. That might be the best I've seen Ed Holmgren shoot the ball.
He broke his hip, and so when he took the fall, he's 175 pounds and he's 7 foot, and he's got a 7'5" wingspan, but he's frail and he's really light. He's built like balsa wood. If a big wind came up, he would just. If there was a window open, the wind would just take him right out the window. People wouldn't even notice, because it's crazy. He needs to get on a weight program, but he's a crazy skilled player, and they have the best chance. I think they have the best chance to win the NBA title. I think it just seems like that is going to be their destiny, but maybe it's because they're a young team, and the NBA and life can be cruel, that somebody takes it from them at the last moment, and they are the perennial championship team for the next decade. Because we've talked about it. How many times we talk about that? If anybody can beat them right now, and the West is loaded, bro, anything can happen. The East is tasty. They've got it's juicy over there, man.
Yeah, the West is like.
Except from the beginning, OKC was going to be in the NBA Finals in the West Coast. I said the Lakers. You said OKC.
Yeah. I would put the playoffs this way. The West playoffs are like the scene out of 300 with Sparta fighting against the Persians. The East is like a slap fight.
Have you watched that movie recently?
Just let me finish.
No, have you watched that movie recently?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
It is the most incredible defense and slaughter I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's great. So that's for a different show. But that's what the West is. The West is like.
I'm surprised you use that.
The West is like a battle from 300 movie, and the East is like a slap fight from Napoleon Dynamite. Like seriously, okay. It's not even. Right. It's like not even. Like there's one series in the East that's tough, or that they're playing each other hard. That's Milwaukee and Indiana. But let's stay in the West. So the next series in the West, and we were talking about. You were texting me last night. I mean, it's the best series so far. It's the Nuggets and Clippers. Those games are, I mean, unbelievable. Like 3 games decided by 5 points. come on. What great games, great endings. So,
Yeah, I watched it last night, and the timing, like a millisecond, incredible. But the way, watching that game last night, Trent, I watched Joker the entire game, like for 48 minutes. I just watched him,
yeah.
but I watched everything else because everything runs through him.
Oh, yeah.
I have never, aside from Wilt and a few other people, Jordan, a few others, Kareem at times, where everything goes through Dirk at times in Dallas when he won the.
Yep.
I've never seen anything like
Crazy.
a 7-foot Pillsbury Doughboy from Serbia who is long, and his skill set, he's doing what Wilt used to average. People don't even, they talk about him. It's the record in the NBA, and they forget about that Wilt used to average that for years. Like, people
Yeah.
have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, they have no idea. But anyways, that was then, this is now. And let's focus on
What he's doing right now.
it's just absolute, and his leadership is extraordinary. He is the guy that will lead those 300 soldiers to the edge of that cliff and kill as many as he possibly can until.
I think this is the problem for Denver. So he is going to be, if they make it out of this series,
He's going to be exhausted.
he'll be exhausted.
He's in great shape.
They have no depth.
Dude, he's in such good
I
shape.
know, I know, but he's still. You only can do so much. I mean, my God.
No, he
Look at
does
his
more.
numbers. He had 36 and 21 last night.
Yeah.
With 8 assists to go with that. Like, just
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like,
Wilt averaged that in a
Fine.
season with
in
10
the
blocks.
modern era, you've never seen anything like this on a regular basis.
No, like
No,
I
not
say,
in modern
there
era.
has nobody been since Wilt that is doing what he's doing.
So, and again, and then you know what? The one of the great things about that series is I think Zubac is getting his. This is a great coming out party for him. This whole season was, but
Yeah.
not a lot of people watch Clipper games. Well, now they're watching these games because it's against the Nuggets in the playoffs. He's having a coming out party. That guy is such a good player, and he actually matches up quite well with this. What makes what Joker's doing even more incredible is Zubac actually matches up, plays him pretty tough.
Look,
Like, he
you know their
can't
history,
even-
right?
Yes, yes.
They've been playing against each other. Like, people forget that Joker's 26. Zubac is like, they're about the same age. Joker's got 2 years on him. And they both play from Serbia. They both play the same national team. They both played as teammates. And when before he got drafted to the NBA, he was a 14-year-old, and he used to get abused by Joker in practice. Way before Joker was even like a name. People, when Joker got drafted in the second round, I was like, who is that, man? Because I didn't even know. Like, once I did my research, I got my Pentium 2.
He's 30. Joker's 30 and Zubac's 28.
Right. They were playing back when they were in their teenage in Serbia.
Well, he makes them work hard.
Oh, honestly, it's a breakout year, and it's about time. I was wondering if it was ever going to happen. The Lakers should have never gave up that dude. Never.
I always thought about that. I always said that too.
Never.
That play was terrible for them. Yeah. The other one in that series is kind of the resurgence of Kawhi Leonard. Kind of looks like old Kawhi. He's playing great basketball.
Wow.
Like, that dude, he's one of those players that, again, like we talk about guys that can get a bucket together. That guy can get into the mid-range and shoot a little fadeaway over you from 15 to 16 feet, and it's like, it's money.
Hey, Trent, he can do whatever he wants.
Oh,
He can do whatever he wants right now.
Harden's just building on the year that he had in general. He's playing like we expect James Harden to play anyways. Let's be honest.
I think I was waiting for you to bring up the Clips, and the one thing I want to talk about, nobody's talking about, is the GM of the Clips with the new franchise and by the way, the new building, the Intuit building is beautiful, man.
Right.
And they have everything. They have everything that these cats have no idea. Until it's gone, they have no idea what they have. But Lawrence Frank, I believe he's still the GM with the Clips. He's really on the down low, and he took a lot of heat. But what he's done this year with the Clips and putting them in contention. They are, if I was to say if there's one team that could slide in and take everybody,
Mhm.
that's the one,
Yep. Yep.
if they stay healthy. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Well, we said it when we made our picks for this first round.
Ah,
Um,
yeah, I've been saying it for a while, but I just
but we
didn't
both
think it
picked the
would come to
Nuggets.
fruition,
No,
right?
we both picked the Nuggets, but I told you when we picked the Nuggets, I said, "I'm rooting for the Nuggets, but would not be shocked if the Clippers won." And
Yeah, no, I'm still going for the Nuggets, but I hope it's 7 games. I don't care who wins.
I know
I
you
just
just
want 7 games.
but, yeah, the end of that last game, plus the fact that they had a 22-point lead. I guess we should give love to our boy Norman Powell. He lit it up in the second half there when they were
You
down
know I'm a
22.
big fan of Norman Powell, right? I love the cat.
Good for him. Good for
If
coming
his
out.
bow legs weren't so bad, he'd be 6'6".
But,
I
that's if you're gonna watch games, that's right now, that is the series to watch. That is
Yeah.
just they're going at it.
It's exciting, bro. It was exciting. That game, what I was enthralled. I was just like,
Yeah.
holy shit! I should make popcorn. I have no butter though. I can't have popcorn without butter.
And then we move on to the Lakers, your team, the Lakers and the T-Wolves. So we won't talk about the game today. It's 2-1 as we record this episode.
It's a must-win game for the Lakers.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they're going to beat. I don't think they're going to. They would. I'd be surprised to see them beat the T-Wolves 3 straight games. They get down.
Actually, if anyone could, it would be them. But I wouldn't want to be that because the T-Wolves, Chris Finch has really discovered something magical about this unit. Finally, anyways, go on.
Well, the two big things about, because I'll let you wax poetic about the Lakers. I'll talk about the Timberwolves. I think the two big things for the Timberwolves are things that we talked about earlier in the season. Okay, first of all, later in the season, Mike Conley coming back was a huge lift for them. Just that veteran leadership, and that guy is, like, from what I've read, that guy's loved around the league. Just as a good guy, good pro. Like, people root for that guy.
He's a sober guy. He doesn't do drugs. He doesn't drink. He doesn't party. And he's a leader on the court and off the court on the community. And he's a stand-up guy. And he has incredible, the integrity and character that he has.
Yeah.
Man, if you could clone kids like that.
Him coming back, that was a big thing for them. But the other
Big time.
thing that we slagged on it earlier
They
in the
also
year.
paid him. They paid him $120 million, dude, at his stage.
Yeah. So the other thing that we talked about the T-Wolves was a trade that they made that didn't seem to be working out for them. Well, Karl Anthony Towns today in the Knicks Detroit game proved why they traded for him.
Wow.
He had the ending of that game.
Incredible.
But
I love the kid.
John Randall, he is playing some really good basketball, and they seem to be a lot more meshed.
John? His name's not John.
Well, whatever his name. What's his name?
Randall.
I'm like, are you high right now?
No, I want to be. I haven't even had dinner yet, bro.
Oh my gosh.
And when we say hi, it's legal in Canada to do whatever for the most part you'd like to do. But I'm just talking about having like a Beano tea, which is my concoction, which is kind of like 65% tea. No, just to let you know. And then about 3 different types of wine, and you put it together, and it's like a sangria, and it's lovely.
Yeah, it's super.
Yeah,
but
it's
Julius,
really Julius? Oh, of course. So Julius, and by the way, another ex-Laker toss-off.
Yeah. Well, LeBron had to make moves, man. They had to trade everybody.
LeBron's got to do what LeBron does.
No, LeBron's,
right? But they're on the precipice of being toasted, and I think they're going to win. I think it's going to go. I think it's going to go 6 games, but if it goes 7, I don't care. And if it goes 7, it's going to take a pounding on LeBron at this stage. But this guy, he's ridiculously in shape. Luka's got to bring these guys to the promised land. It's that simple. Yep. And that's what's happening, and that's what needs to happen. So, Lakers.
I'm rooting for it. Yeah.
I'm going Lakers all the way.
Yeah, I know. So, and then the last series in the West is another series that's actually pretty fun to watch, pretty physical, is
Warriors.
Rockets and Warriors. Those games have gotten a little more intense through that last game.
You watched the game last with Curry, what he did without Jimmy?
Yeah.
Jimmy's got a pelvic contusion.
Pelvic contusion.
He doesn't even have a pelvic. He has no ass. It's just
I
legs.
love it.
Anyways, that's not it. Those are tough. Those are
Yeah. He
you
came
can't
down
walk.
pretty hard.
You
What do you
can't
think about
walk.
that play? I don't think it was a dirty play. I think he kinda
No,
used.
no. Jimmy just look. Jimmy's always got. Jimmy will play 10 games in a row, phenomenal basketball, and then he'll he'll have a migraine or.
No, dude, it was a pretty good shot. I mean, he came down hard. It was
Listen, I'm not saying I look. I'm not a fan of Jimmy, but what he has brought to the Warriors, I had no idea that
yeah,
he would do that.
yeah.
Honestly, and
No,
everybody was saying it's big time, Jimmy. It's game time. It's what he. But I had no idea he was that good. I've seen him
yeah,
play, but to be able to pull that out of nowhere and they win like 14 out of 17 games or something,
yeah.
it's crazy.
Jimmy buckets.
But what Curry did is why I think he's the best shooter in the history of the game, and I love him. He's my
Oh, yeah,
favorite player in the NBA. Chef Curry.
I know.
I love that dude because I kind of used to play like that.
Oh, here we go.
But it was just a brief intervention. That's all. It's okay. That was the
Uh,
past.
uh,
It's okay.
yeah, so
You
there
experienced the onslaught. So
the
come
game
on, give me some credit, bro.
the games have gotten pretty aggressive. That last game with Sangoon and Draymond and that kid showing some
Yeah.
passion. I don't think it's Washington or Houston's time quite yet. I think they're a
No.
team that kind of has to lose. This is the first year they've been really at the top of the standings like this. But they can keep the core that they have together. Um,
Excuse me.
they could be a pretty scary team in the West.
Look, it's going to be OKC in Houston, and if Memphis could turn it around, I don't think they can, because they got to get rid of that dude. But those two teams, I could see them battling it on the West for a long time.
Yeah, yeah,
Depending on what happens with the remainder, I think Dallas has a lot. If Kyrie can come back and they can stay healthy, they're very dangerous with their height and depth.
yeah, yeah. I agree.
And people always say, "Oh, the trade is yeah, it sucks now, but just give them another year of
Yeah.
health with all the big guys and their guards and Kyrie. Kyrie's the real deal. I've never liked the dude, but honestly, what he did up until he got injured, I he is exciting.
Oh, dude, this,
He's
every
electrifying.
player should be embarrassed that they can't use their left hand even half what that guy does.
Dude,
Like,
I've been preaching when you start your academy, Trent, please. When you do ambidextrous, and if I'm in town, bring me in for one of the sessions and let me
oh yeah,
do a thing on ambidextrous.
yeah.
Let
No,
me
we
do a
do
little
it all
thing.
trying to. We make them do left-handed layups. Like it's like you
No,
have
but
to
it's
use
more than that. It's a psychology.
or young kids. You just got to try to get them to make the left-handed
No,
layup.
I can get kids do whatever I want them to do on the basketball court.
Okay, yeah. Finish that sentence.
No, but I'm telling you, I've taught them. I worked with the Grizzlies, the Vancouver Grizzlies, in Europe, and my own basketball, thing, and with the Pantheon, with the gym, and I love it. I mean, it's awesome. I just want you to blow up and own Alberta, and then you just come over a little bit into maybe the Kootenays, and then Kelowna, and boom,
Yeah.
let's blow it up.
Hopefully it'll last
Anyways,
long.
let's talk about the NBA first.
So, Eastern Conference. No
Yeah.
surprise. I mean, the Heat put up a fight one game, but overall, I mean, it's, Cavs are just a better team, more depth. I mean, they're the number one seed in the East for a reason. They're just a good team, well coached, play defense. Um, the one fun thing about that series has been to watch. Honestly, Tyler Hero's been kind of going off, so he's been kind of fun to watch
Yeah.
in the games. But overall, those games are kind of boring. The Cavs Heat games.
Yeah, it shows it showcases their weaknesses really quite clearly.
Yeah, right. So
But they also showcases there's certain players they can build around. This Kalel Ware kid he's
yeah,
the real deal. That is they got to keep him and
sure.
start him next year. He's
And
their
Hero,
starting center. Put him in Bam and put Bam at power forward. That's the way to go.
yeah, man. No, they
And they got to find a solid small forward that can play and take over Jimmy. Be the new Jimmy.
they should have tanked. They could have maybe got a better guard in the draft.
It's just not in Riley It's
hey,
not
man,
in Riley's genes
for it. So,
or the
um,
coach. They just can't. They have integrity and character. That's how they're built.
yeah, the Cavaliers are going to be the Cavaliers are going to be pretty tough. They're going to be a tough out. If they're
They,
if
they
be,
honestly, they're my surprise team to win the whole thing.
I mean, it wouldn't be a
They're
surprise to
my
see them
surprise
in
team.
the finals. Yeah,
If
they're
I think they're better than Boston, but honestly, Boston, if they're healthy, if Brown can stay healthy and Tatum, those
right.
guys, they've got. I honestly, percentage wise, I think Boston's got the best chance to repeat
Experience
his
matters.
NBA championships
Right? It says experience matters. It helps certain
and
situations.
depth. But look at the depths they have.
Oh, I
And
know.
Porzingis is back, and he's playing really well, man.
So that'll be so. The next one is the probably the well. I mean, the Knicks are just pretty good, but the Pacer Buck games have been. Those teams don't like each other.
No,
Like, they do not like each other. They're
but
playing
honestly, let's hope the series goes to 7 games.
yeah. Surprised
Let
to
them
see-
battle each other like just
Yeah,
a slaughter, just like
very-
300,
No.
just a slaughter.
surprised if the Pacers win a game in Milwaukee. So I just
I'm going honestly. I see what's happening finally with Indiana. It's earlier than I expected, but I just see the resilience. I just see the other team. I think the Pacers are going to succumb. I think it's going to go 7 games.
yeah.
And it just takes one game for Harbordon to pull a hammy or a fucking calf
He's played pretty
contusion,
well.
or pardon my French, but because he's so skinny, but he's really played so well in the second half of the year, man.
Yeah.
He's played
And
so
he was,
well.
and he was voted by the players as the most overrated player.
Yeah,
He is old as shit.
right? Weird.
Yeah.
I was shocked in that actually.
Good on him. Whatever. Good on him. He's playing well.
Yeah.
Right now.
I think so.
Gary Trent actually played a really good game, and my boy,
Best game of the year.
Derry Bird comes in the game and throws up some threes. Gotta love it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So those games have been pretty fun to watch. And again, there's some animosity there. They don't like each other.
Yeah, I like that.
Want everybody to be high fiving and shaking hands with each other. You're not supposed to like each other. You can like
No.
each other in a different day.
If you want to like each other and hang out after the game and
Go do that.
go to the
all you want.
bar or
Feel free.
whatever.
I don't want to see that. So that series has
No.
been good. I don't know what you have to say on that series, but I don't see the Pacers. I'd be surprised to see the Pacers win a game in Milwaukee after that last game because that was their
No,
best
no.
chance. They won that.
Milwaukee, I already told you. From the first episode this year,
You pick
Milwaukee will be in the. I think they have a chance with. Now they have Lillard back, and he's healthy, and they've got the depth, and a lot of guys since he's been out have played really well, including Trent Jr. had his his best game as a professional.
Yeah.
And I said this in the beginning when I talked about the if you're in fantasy and you're still playing, certain leagues are still playing. Pick up a guy if you're in a 14 or a 16 league. You pick up a guy like Trent right at towards the end of the season and put him on the back because they have the best. They play the most games. If they go deep, Milwaukee has the best schedule in the NBA right now. So fantasy wise, it plays off parallel to reality. Strangely enough, right? So I believe Milwaukee's going to be there in the East.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the next series is your team, your other team, the New York Knickerbockers.
Yeah, which I don't know what happened, but I'm still going with them. Even if they lose, they're still up. There's one game away from the semis.
Yep.
And that series is going to be just absolutely It's going to be unbelievable.
Carl Anthony Towns is showing why they made that trade.
Yeah.
Boy, when he wants to play and play
Yeah.
tough and not be soft, he is such a good player when he wants to play that way.
Well, he's dedicated. You know what he's dedicated this year to? All of the tragedy he has suffered in the last 5 years.
Yep.
He's lost 9 family members. He lost his mom, his dad, his sister, his aunt, his uncle, cousins, COVID. It's just and this kid is just, I love it. I mean, when they made the trade, I was like, wow, what? The GM of the Knicks? Kudos, man. What you did with the whole Villanova deal, even though you overpaid for Stickman.
Yeah, you
Oh,
overpaid for him. So,
Jesus, man.
yeah. Although
But
today yeah.
I overdrafted because you overpaid. So thanks, bro.
You're supposed to know better.
I know.
Yeah, well, look in the mirror. Point the finger at that guy, not the GM from the Knicks.
I know. I have all the blame. I listen. It's all good. I can
Yeah.
take it.
But yeah, that series again. Those two teams seem to have. You have a Knicks team that expects to win and expects to probably be either in the Eastern Conference Finals or even in the finals. But they expect to win. All the guys on that team are winners, from college to the pros. And you have a team of the Pistons that's up and coming, and the up and coming team's pushing them pretty hard. And the pushback comes, and it's made the games pretty entertaining to watch. Very physical, and entertaining to watch.
Well, especially in the East Coast with the teams that you wouldn't expect to have that development rapid so fast, and then the referees all of a sudden changing their tune the whole season, 100 games later, and now they're letting each other hack each other like it's the 80s and 90s,
Awesome.
and guys are getting tomahawked and
I love it.
elbowed, and it's awesome. That's the way it should be.
It's
When
a
I
good
was playing
night.
pro ball in Europe, and I was 25 years ago, and I'm a small dude, I was getting beat up like I was like a rag doll in the air. People like tossed me around like a, and so I said enough. And anytime somebody hit me, I'd go after that mofo, the next play. And when the refs aren't looking, I'd take him out
Oh, here we go.
accidentally.
Hey, come on.
No, that wasn't.
So-
You don't believe?
Paul's like the Tom Cruise version. He's like 5'5".
No, I'm
missing-
5. Look, I'm 5'11", and I'm 185. When I was a professional, I was 5'11", 185, and I was lithe, quick, fast, brilliant, smart, and
Right.
successful. And I won championships
You
and I
got lifts in
retired.
the shoes? 5'11"? You got lifts in the shoes? Or
No,
5'11"?
181 and a half is five. Almost, it's 5'10" and 5'8". So you
That's
just
the guy
round it
that-
off.
Just so you guys know, that's the guy out there taking people out that he just.
You just round. Oh yeah. Oh dude, just because I'm a small dude doesn't mean I'm not tough. I can fight,
You're
dude. I can fight.
All right. Well, you'd be loving that Knicks and Pistons series. You probably got your.
Well,
That would be a
I'm gonna
perfect
watch
series
it
for you to
after the
have
show.
some of the new those 3D things on, so you could pretend you're fighting, because that's what it's like.
No,
that-
Sean's coming back. So Sean, my cousin, my bro, is staying with me the last couple of nights. He's back, and so we're
I watched
barbecuing.
the Laker Wolves game today, man. Watch that with them.
Oh, with
unbelievable
Trent.
game.
Oh no, his attention span is
I know.
it's not possible. After
I know.
doing 12 hours of security, he just can't. He needs to have a cigar and a food, a cigar, and then he's in bed.
All right.
Anyways, he
Last
says hi. By the way,
I love that dude. He knows that.
oh, I know. Yeah, he loves
Oh.
you too. But Trent, so are we finished or what are we doing?
Last one.
Okay.
Celtics and Magic.
Hmm.
Our boy Franz Wagner had a huge game the last.
The Wagner brothers.
And there's a lot of complaining going on because, again, as you just mentioned about the officiating, that series is like watching 90s basketball as well.
Yeah, you know why? Because
Jaylen Brown's like, "Are we gonna
Vegas can't make their mind up on the numbers.
Yeah, but they're like, Jaylen Brown in the interview was like, are we just gonna fight? Because he goes, that's what it's like out there right now. Are we just gonna let's just fight then? That series has been,
honestly, I have to admit, as much as I don't like violence, and I saw a lot of fighting in the NBA in the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Exactly. It was
But
bad.
you don't see it much. Oh, it's really bad, like really horrific sometimes. But
You know what that-
in Europe, my God, they don't fight. You know why they don't fight in Europe? A guy on, I'm in this tournament in Zagreb in Croatia, and Zagreb's the capital, and right next to former Yugoslavia, and we're there. We're in a tournament, and the crowd is so nasty, and the lighting's terrible, and our changing room was cold. It was like the Celtics. Everything was brutal. The water wasn't working. The toilets were overplugged with shit. It was like it was embarrassing. They did it intentionally, and we went out, and the coach was this former Yugoslavian rock star superstar, and he just smoked and drank all day long. He was like 6'9", and he would just swear and chain smoke. This is when they allowed you to smoke during the game.
Right.
And I remember he finally called me out in the game. We were 0-8, by the way, and I wasn't even part of the team. I played like twice because he was after a different thing, a Austrian player. So I'm standing out there. I go in the thing, and I'm thinking, I hear all this swearing. I know they're saying "pichco madre" and all this stuff, that's really nasty stuff. But I get hit by a coin that bounces off the side of my temple, my right hand side, right here, and it cuts me. But it ricochets, so it cuts me. But if it was lower, it could have gone into my fucking head. Who knows? Pardon my French. It's the honest to God truth. And I feel this inflection, and the coach is yelling at me, and I'm the point guard. I'm running. I'm bringing the ball up, and this coin hits me, and I'm like, what the f is going on? And this coach has got an ash, 2-inch long ash on a cigarette. He's gonna have a jammer. The place is violent. We're in Zagreb, and I'm bleeding. I've got blood going down the side of my face, and the guy's yelling at me, and he's like, "Bah," he goes, "La pichco madre," and I'm bleeding, and I look over and I'm like, "Chill the f down, motherfucker!" And I look at him, and I fingered our coach. And so he called a timeout, and I never played again. And we were 0-8, and thank God I got away from that team. But honest to God, truth, if you ever get picked off by a coin that was thrown by an irate, drunk psychopath, it is not, and it drew blood. And I couldn't wait to get out of there. But what a great experience, man!
Oh my God!
I'm telling you, bro. And there's more. I'll tell you later. Anyways,
So there's, and I mean, there's a reason that the movie, even though it's a comedy, mocks the fact that before the ABA and the NBA joined, semi-pro mocked the idea that there was fighting, like basically bench brawls and stuff, and that was a black eye for the NBA for a long time. So you're not lying. It was like, it used to be very physical. Then the 80s started to get, there was only a fight here and there, and then the 90s would be more of a shoving match, maybe grab each other, and then now, well. Yeah. You touch a guy, you can't even hand check anymore. So let's be honest, right? So,
well, not until last night.
Not until the playoffs.
if you watch the games in the last couple of nights, it's like guys are like just hammering each other.
Dude, they do the same. They do the same in hockey. They go all year calling penalties, and then hockey starts, and it's like, all right, unless you murder that other guy, it won't be a penalty.
Let me think. I wonder why that is. Let me just think about that for a moment. Would it be? Yes, it would be the rat. Okay, whatever.
Yeah. So
I'll leave it at that.
Pretty crazy.
It is. It is.
So
that's it. Are we done?
Oh well. So watching the two games today, that's what it was. That's what they felt like. They were both very physical games. And so the call at the end of the game that probably should have been a foul on the Knicks. Well.
I'm gonna watch him as soon as I finish. I've got Sean's coming back.
You didn't call anything all game, so and it was.
I know. But it doesn't matter when Vegas calls, when the phone rings, and then the whistle needs to ring. Listen. I'm a professional referee in Kelowna. I am nowhere near that level of a referee, and I don't think it would ever happen because I'm only making $40 an hour, or maybe a little bit more if it's one game.
You're a referee, the professional.
No, I'm a professional. I'm a professional. I'm a paid professional referee. I'm proud of it. Okay, I'm proud of it. I come full circle my basketball career. Come on, man, I love it. I'm very proud of it, and I'm in the community. I'm in the grassroots, and plus the basketball, the 10-acre park across the street's opening next week, this Saturday coming up. And the basketball court's going to be open. Of course, I've got to referee 2 games when it's open. So when it finishes my refereeing, I'm heading over. I'm going to get my ball, and I'm playing that court for a couple hours.
Oh, yeah. We'll see. Then you won't be able to walk for a couple of days.
No, I'm in good shape. I did 8K this morning.
Oh, nice.
Every day. Dude, it's sunny here. I work out every day.
Well, enjoy the Laker T-Wolves game. It was an unbelievable game. Enjoy that.
I will. I'll be the first game I watch.
Yeah, watch that so you can send me a text before I'm in bed tonight.
Oh, for sure. But listen, now, for those watching, and thank you for joining us. And Trent and I really appreciate We've been really getting a lot of real positivity and good vibes and growth. And, we've got a lot of work to do. We understand that. We know that. We have a low budget and we're working on it. But in the
Yeah.
meantime, thank you for joining us. It's episode 24, which is remarkable.
Keep
And
it
I
grinding.
just want to thank my co-host of the most, Mr. Trent Rowley, for taking the time out of his busy schedule. He's a legend in his hometown of
Yeah.
St. Paul, Alberta, and he's a legend in my mind,
Yeah.
and a friend of over 40 years. And I'm blessed to have him and Johnny, and to be able to do this with these chaps because they're awesome. And everyone is they've got their own skill set, and Trent's just knows everything about sports and basketball, and we've got good history. And the last thing we haven't done for a long time, but we will. I'll be joining him in St. Paul for a little golf, a little hoop,
Yeah. NBA finals.
week
NBA
vacay,
finals.
and I'm looking forward to. But in the meantime, for those that enjoy this content and haven't, approximately 78 to 80% of the people that watch our shows on a consistent basis have not subscribed to us. So please, if you enjoy this content and you would like to see it, it's free. We put out 65 videos. We're going to be putting out about 150 a year until we're monetized and we take it to the next level. But in the meantime, we would appreciate subscriptions, likes, comments, anything that you can do to help us. Trent and I are just hardworking Joes, and this is a hobby of us, and we really love it. And we spend a lot of time and money and effort, and I think it shows. So thank you for joining us. And Trent, I'm just going to say we're going to sign out, bro. Is there anything else you'd like to finish up with today?
Well, I came here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
I love it. And that was based on a reference that Johnny and I just did a show, and it was one of the John Carpenter films with and Trent. I didn't even know Trent even watched these movies, but John Carpenter is a legend, and Johnny and I love him, and he's a great writer, and he's a great director, and Roddy Piper was the lead in it, and it's an awesome scene. I'll never forget it. Loved the movie. I saw all his movies, and a great way to finish it off. Peace, love, and happiness, everybody. I just want to say to those out there, there's a lot of strange stuff in the world, but there's more love than there is, and just be kind out there. It's free. Try to make someone laugh, give someone a hug, just be nice, be kind. In the meantime, on behalf of Trent and myself, thank you for joining us at the Canadian Bro Show, at the Canadian Bro Show at YouTube. Please subscribe, like, and in the meantime, we'll see you sooner than later. Thanks for joining us. Thank you again, Trent. We'll talk to you soon, bro. Take
You
care.
bet.
Peace, everyone.